After what feels like an eternity, I am finally starting collecting some of the new series. I know that's not entirely true, but it does feel like it. Hello my brothers and sisters, my name is Daidarius and welcome to my manga haul of June 2024. It just dawned on me. This means that we are halfway through the year already. I'm gonna deal with that right now. Alright, I'm not gonna dwell too much on it. I actually have a lot of different series this month. Yes! So let's dive straight into it, shall we? And first up we have Record of Ragnarok Volume 10. What I will say about this volume is that this concludes the fight between Shiva and Raiden. That's one thing I will talk about regarding Record of Ragnarok. It is Viz's release schedule. Now, I don't mind we only getting 4 volumes each year. I think it's fitting considering that it's roughly release schedule of the Japanese versions. What irks me is that we are 3 years behind the Japanese releases. They have just gotten up to, I think, volume 21. We are only at 10. We will never catch up to them unless they finish up the manga, which they will at some point, right? But it just... I don't understand why we need to be 3 years behind. Let's just be 1 year behind. Let's just get up to volume 16 right now, or 17 theoretically, and then from there be 1 year behind. But I don't understand it. I don't understand why they wouldn't ramp up the initial catch up and then dial back the release schedule, but that's just me. But anyway, Record of Ragnarok. Awesome series, I really do like it, and I do appreciate the current round, which is round 10, I think. Okita and Susanoo is going on right now in the manga. It's actually quite sweet, I do enjoy it, but I'm not gonna dwell on it too much more. Volume 10, so we are halfway there for our yearly goal. Anyway, on to the next one. And next up we have Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 22. It feels like an eternity since Jujutsu Kaisen has been on my manga hauls. It's gonna be a bit more before we get the final volume of the year, which will be 23. I think it's gonna drop in August or October on Blackwell's. I thought we were almost caught up with the Japanese release, but this does not contain the current battle ongoing in the manga right now, which is insane to me. So we're still a bit far off. I think there's 4 or 5 more volumes out in Japan. But I guess that's just how it is. We're gonna be quite far behind on the Japanese release for some reason. But that's just this. I know Kodansha, they are more efficient at actually catching up. I'm not going to dwell too much on it. I've already said my piece about it. Let's get on to the next one. So, Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 22, only missing 1 more volume, and then we'll have everything that I wanted for Jujutsu Kaisen this year. And next up, we have Colorless Volume 5. Now, here is a fun thought. At least I think it's a fun one. Originally, I set out to only get 4 volumes this year, and when I got the 4th one last month, I just thought I'm just gonna catch up, I guess, no matter how long it's gonna take. Well, turns out, once I have gotten the next 2 volumes, which will be volume 6 and volume 7, I will actually be caught up, which, given my current buy flow, it's gonna take 2 months. I'm pretty confident I'm gonna get volume 6 next month and then volume 7 the month after that. So I will soon be caught up with Colorless, which also means you can expect seeing other series taking its place. But yeah, Colorless, not much I can say about it. I haven't started reading it yet. Again, I just love the concept of it, of a world devoid of color, and then there is this color battle system, power system, I think, which they then use by printing color in it. I don't know, I'm just rambling right now. I'm just excited to actually almost be caught up again. It's just weird to me to catch up to series, but again, we're gonna talk about that in a bit. So on to the next one. And next up we have Black Clover Volume 35. Speaking of before about catching up, I did it. I have now caught up officially to Black Clover. It has also been a sprint to the finish line. I mean, I think this year I've bought 13, 14-ish volumes in 6 months. While also collecting other series, which is just bonkers to me. Now, my goal for this year is to also get volume 36, but looking at Blackwell's, not on Viz, because they haven't really announced it yet on their website, but looking on Blackwell's, it seems like volume 36 is gonna be released January. So, if the volume hasn't come out by December, sometime Blackwells will they will change their release date. But if it hasn't come out by then, I'm gonna consider it I completed it, because I can't collect something that does not exist yet. But being caught up with Black Clover, that's just insane to me. Alright, let's get on to the next one. And next up we have Helck, Volume 9. Already 3/4 of the way. Only missing 3 more volumes. And then I'm gonna be able to do that epic panoramic picture. I'm not gonna show it again, I've shown it enough. The next time will be when I have the physical formats, but nevertheless, Helck, Volume 9. Cannot say much about it, I haven't started reading it yet. Again, I'm gonna address it at the end of the video. I just want to move on to the next one, because that is also one of those I've caught up. And next up we have Pokemon Adventures Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Volume 2. You guessed it, I have finally caught up with Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I mean, you could technically say I did that last month, but now I have also caught up to the official release. So the official release was in May, but Blackwell being a month behind, I've only first got it now. So now I'm officially caught up with Pokemon Adventures, which is insane to me. And also, I complained last month about the spines of the Pokemon Adventures, because the Black 2 and White 2, they are all red, and the X and Y, they're all purple, which is kinda annoying, since every series prior they have always changed colors for each spine basically, except for the Black and White, where they just were black and white. It just fit with the name. Well, luckily they're back to doing it differently, because this is blue and the former one was red. Fits with the Ruby and Sapphire. But nevertheless, I'm not delved too much on Pokemon, because I know some of you do not care about the Pokemon series, which is fine. I do, hence why I collect it. But I will still respect that you don't care as much about this series as I do. So instead of that, let's move on to the next one. And next up we have Chainsaw Man Volume 15. This is where shit starts to get real in part 2. At least I think. This whole thing with the Gravity Devil and such is just insane. I actually read this weekly when it was coming out. But Volume 15, Volume 16 will be released in October, I think, October, November on Blackwells, and then I will have managed to get everything this year, which is awesome. Now, finally, that is the usual suspects. That's what I have been collecting each month, basically, at least some of these series. Now I'm sorry, I keep looking away from the camera. I'm just staring at the next volumes. But now we get into the new stuff, the stuff that I planned back in January. I was collecting the new series. Let's get to it. And first up we have Sakamoto Days Volume 1 and Sakamoto Days Volume 2. So this is one of the new series, Sakamoto Days. I have heard so much great things about this series. This is basically just what if John Wick became a store owner. Never went on a assassin-fueled revenge quest for his dog, but instead just became storekeeper of a 7-Eleven. And then gained a few pounds. But apparently that's Sakamoto Days, which is a concept I love, because I love John Wick. I absolutely adore it. I have all the movies, and yes, so I'm getting very excited of actually getting into that series, Sakamoto Days. I don't know much about it more than what I've just said, and apparently that it is epic, which is enough for me. So, Sakamoto Days, Volume 1 and 2. Let's get on to the next new series, and that is the Elusive Samurai Volume 1. This samurai needs to use tactics to win fights, at least in the beginning. And I love concepts like that, because it's not often you see it in battle shonens, because often it is just one powerful dude fighting another powerful dude. Or sometimes when they get creative, one powerful girl fights another powerful dude or girl. So having someone who is not as powerful, but then will have to use cunning, intelligence, skills and such to overcome that difference is interesting to me, and I want to see more of it. That's why I'm looking forward to Elusive Samurai. Hopefully, it will also be good. At least for what I expect of it. Alright, now we get on to the last one, which is probably the one of the new series I'm most hyped about and most interested in. So let's get to it. And that is Dandadan Volume 1. Why am I excited about this? I've seen the art, and I'm a sucker for good art, so that's one. Secondly, it's hard to read this one. Yukinobo, I think. Tatsu. What's important about that person? that was one of the assistants of Fujimoto of Chainsaw Man. So probably this person is as batshit crazy as Fujimoto. That's also important. That's also something I dig. And third is that I don't know if you know this YouTuber. Is a YouTuber named Alex. He has a lot of subscribers, but not made that many videos. But luckily, he's extensively talented. But he has made some videos about this, and he keeps almost threatening people that watch him to start reading this series. So, Alex, this one is for you. I'm starting reading it because of you. But in return, I need you to start reading Rooster Fighter. But anyway, he's not gonna see this. But anyway, that is my manga haul of June 2024. And I'm looking very much forward to actually start reading all of them, of course, but especially Dandadan, because I've heard this batshit crazy. It is kind of as batshit crazy as Chainsaw Man and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I'm all for that. So that is my manga haul. But I can give you an update on that thing right there. So for the past 3, 4, 5 months of manga hauls, I think I've talked about this stupid Berserk video. Stupid. The question isn't even if I'm done, because as you can see, as of this release, it's not done. I'm editing it. I did a community post where I was starting editing it. I finished that edit, but I also managed to get all the frames I needed and so on and so forth. It was a lot of work. Currently, I'm just if you could call that animating it, the panels and such, and then planning the B-rolls, and have to edit that in, and then that will be it. I am confident I'm gonna release it before the end of the month. I know I've been saying that for like the past 2 months, but that's the only thing I need to edit. I don't need to shoot any more additional scenes or something like that. I just need to finish the editing, and that is it. I know how long it's gonna be, and I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a tad longer than I thought. I thought it was gonna be less than half an hour. It's gonna be a tiny bit more than half an hour, but not much. How did your manga haul look like? I always enjoy reading what you picked up. It's actually some quite interesting picks down there from time to time. And also, I have been eyeballing this right here, H.P. Lovecraft Manga Deluxe Edition from, I think it's Dark Horse. But I have no clue about this series. Not the original H.P. Lovecraft story, even though I have the book, again, time management, but also the mangaka itself. So if you know or have read this and think it would fit my, I won't say style, but what I usually enjoy, given if you have seen my collection, you know kind of what I like, then drop me a comment, because I am interested, but it's also a lot of money to put into something that I'm not sure I'm gonna enjoy. So I'm not gonna bore you anymore. So whatever you think, come and learn me your thoughts. As always, until seeing you in the next video, just remember to stay awesome. See ya.